Hello my friends, and welcome back to another Brotato Danger 5 random run, where we take a random character, random weapon, and try to beat Danger 5 with it. Hope you're all doing well. Let's see what we've got today. We've got Ogre, which we've done already, and Builder as well, and we have the Chunky. So Chunky is a surprisingly difficult character for random weapon challenges, because not being able to increase your movement speed and having vastly decreased healing mean that you take a lot of damage. So if you're not using a weapon that helps you clear enemies efficiently, which of course we may not be since we're rolling a weapon randomly, then we can be in a lot of trouble. Let's roll and see what we got. And we've got the stick, which I believe I've already done. Let me check. And we have not, so let's jump in. This is probably the best weapon for this character, because it's the best weapon for pretty much every character, and it has some very strong natural synergy with the Chunky as well, because as a primitive weapon it increases your max HP, which of course makes you stronger overall. Oh, the dad sneeze got me. Apologies, friends. Stronger overall on this character. Because I sneezed in the middle of wave 1, I made less money than I had hoped there, because we just didn't kill as many enemies. Let's roll and pick up some harvesting, and then we're going to grab a stick. One of the many amazing things about this weapon is that it's very cheap. So you can easily get a lot of them, and you can easily upgrade it, even though it's a primitive weapon, so you're less likely to roll it. I'll definitely take weird food. We have +3 consumable heal, but you definitely want more than that. Mushroom is also worth considering. For this character, we get 50% HP regeneration modifiers, so we only get 1.5 from the mushroom. But HP regen is still pretty important to build on a character like this one that can't increase its movement speed and can't easily build other defensive stats. I think on the whole, for 28, I'm not going to lock the mushroom, but it's honestly closer than it might look. Baby Gecko, we don't really care about. We're a melee build, so we're not going to be leaving materials on the ground that frequently, and then we're going to do a bunch of re-rolling. I think I'm going to be one short of buying another stick if I find another, which we found another one, but weren't able to buy it. Stick, of course, you need to get 6 of them as quickly as possible, because it increases the damage of the weapon. It also scales extremely well as you level it, because the passive increases in damage, so the damage of each stick gets increased as you level them up. 2 trees this wave as well. Pretty nice. So I would say this is going pretty well. Lucky roll for a fairly tough character, so hopefully we can just make it work pretty smoothly. Really nice to find 3 sticks in a row. Not that likely, given that this is a primitive weapon, so it's a very large weapon tag. And in fact, we found 4 in a row, so we can start leveling it up immediately. So I would say things are going pretty excellently currently. $31 damage a pop on all of our attacks as well. You do still want to build some percentage damage on this character, even though you get it from HP, but we can definitely prioritize it lower. And because we're using sticks, which have really high base damage, we don't need to spend as much money on melee damage either. So we're fairly ahead economically speaking compared to most characters. Now, Sunglasses is kind of an interesting one. So Stick only has 1.5x critical damage, so you might think you don't want crit chance on it. But because it's going to have really high base damage, crit chance is still not bad on the Stick. And while losing an armor is fairly painful, 17 for a pretty significant damage increase I think is worth it. I could take 4 melee damage here. I could take some bonus luck. Luck is a really useful way to heal on this character as well, since we come with bonus consumable healing. I think I'm just going to take the level 2 upgrade, though. It's a relevant level 2 upgrade, so while I do want to find harvesting, I'm also just going to pick up relevant level 2 upgrades, though I will take a level 1 harvesting over 8% damage here, because I do want to boost my harvesting as well. This shop, we can buy all of these items, and while we only get dodge at half ratio, the Peaceful Bee is still pretty nice just for the harvesting. Gets us to 21 harvesting, so now it's going to start growing by 2 every wave. We can lock a stick. I'll throw in 1 more reroll for 3 here to see if we find anything else good, but unfortunately we rolled 3 more weapons. So far, I would say we've had some really excellent shops. We've found extremely powerful and relevant items, and we've been able to afford to buy all of them. We've done really well on getting all of our weapons online and starting to upgrade them. Propeller hat's a great find as well, so all I have to do at this point is just not mess things up. I'm going to take some bonus luck here again, and then I could take 4 melee damage. Lifesteal, of course, we can't use on this character. 3 HP is also a reasonable consideration, but let's just grab the high-level upgrade. We will take a stick and a cake. Baby Elephant, we don't really need on this character because our damage from our weapons is just going to be so high that Baby Elephant doesn't really do that much. So I'm going to focus more on getting 4 stats that we actually care a lot about. I will take a stick here and a lumberjack shirt. Claw tree costs me HP, and the crit chance and melee damage are both less valuable for us than they are for other characters, so we're going to roll past it. Take a stick, and a pearl is also great. If I can find a couple pearls, then we don't have to buy percentage damage at all, because we'll start getting that from HP and from luck, so we can just focus on stats we want more, and then not have to spend anything on percent damage, which would be really nice. I could reroll here. There's a decent chance I find a level 1 stick, which would also be pretty good. For 6, I think I'm going to pass, though. With 2 good items locked, we're only guaranteed to see 1 weapon in the shop on the Wave 4 shop, so I think that is just slightly too expensive for rerolling 2 items. And stick also, you really want to get them all to level 2. It is less efficient to level them past level 2. Still useful, of course, because leveling them is one of the easiest ways to increase your damage on this weapon, because it's very cheap, so you get a lot of bonus damage by leveling up sticks for a very low cost, but you don't need to get them past level 2 super aggressively. We're going to go ahead and recycle this boiling water. A lure is great. Very happy to get 1 regeneration, and of course lure is excellent. We can't buy movement speed on this character, which I'm going to have to keep reminding myself of, because otherwise I will try to do that. And then I'll just take 4 more melee damage. Pearl, I definitely want. Stick, of course, we want here. Do I want blindfold? So we only get basically half value from each of these 2 stats, crit chance and dodge. And dodge is not that important to us, so I think I'm going to roll past the blindfold for 72. I do need to find some armor. I don't want bone dice because we don't want to lose HP, but we do want to upgrade our sticks and buy a tree and reroll, upgrade stick again, and I'll do 1 more reroll here and we'll lock another stick. Okay, so really nice weapon levels. I'd say these are some of the best shops that I have seen in a long time. Now, obviously, you're going to see better shops. So, some of this is a function of just we're using a really strong weapon. So we've got more money, and sticks are cheap, so we're re-rolling more often. So your shops are going to look better because you just benefit more from re-rolling and having good items in general when your weapon is really strong, and you've got more money, so you can more easily buy a bunch of items. I think this is something that's kind of a fundamental difference between random weapon challenges and other types of win streak challenges. A question I get a lot is, why do I build so defensively in these challenges? And the answer is that often when you're using a poor weapon, you're going to be behind so much in every possible metric because you make less money, you do less damage, you have to spend more on increasing your damage, that you simply don't have the economy to snowball ahead of the enemy damage. So it's going to look very different, and we're going to be like taking more hits and buying odder items than you would in normal runs. I'm taking the baby elephant when it shows up for 10 there. I didn't want to buy it at full price, but it's fine now, and we've got a little more luck as well. Boxing glove, I don't really care about the knockback, but I guess the 1 melee damage is relevant, so I'll pick it up. I could take 6 HP, it's also worth 2% damage, but let's get a little greedy and buy some harvesting, and then we'll take 10 more luck as well. And then armor is kind of the only thing that I need at this point, so I'm going to roll pretty aggressively for that. I will take a mushroom here because I do, as I said, want to build regeneration. Even at half value, if we can get to like 10 regeneration, it makes this character so much smoother to play. Injection cost me 2 HP, which is 2/3 of a damage, but it gives us 7 damage, so it's still worth picking up. And then I'm going to roll here. Gentle Alien, amazing. We get HP, damage, and more enemies, of course. And then Defective Steroids, also a big help for this character, though I do need to build some attack speed, especially before we fight elites. Snail I can pick up. This is one of the ways to increase our speed relative to enemy speed, because we don't lose movement speed, since we're the chunky. But enemies will get slower, so it will help us catch up to them. And now that I have a baby elephant, I will take a gecko here. So we could have bought the elephant earlier, but I figured it was more important to get our core features online. We're going to end up doing some luck-based damage stuff, just because that's how the shops have turned out later on, but that's because it showed up in a convenient way, rather than bending our builds to make that possible. I was pretty happy to get Stick on this one, because I think, once again, we have a lot of the hardest characters remaining. I'm down to, I think, only, like, 12 characters left, but I've still got some of the most difficult characters to go. Characters like Diver are extremely challenging. Romantic, I think, is very hard for the random weapon challenge as well. So, you know, I'll take a really solid weapon. Alien Eyes is awesome on this character. Of course, we're going to be building a lot of HP, and we hit the 3% chance on a Pearl. A Pearl upgrade is amazing, because not only does this increase our damage and everything, it makes it much more likely that we're going to find more Pearls in future, and can start really snowballing. I will lose 8 luck, though, because Black Belt is still going to be very good for this character, and Landmines, we have a baby elephant, so we are doing some random damage around the map, so I guess I'll take the Landmines, and then the 3 armor we have to take. That's a huge find. Take the Stick, Gecko, and Snail, and do a reroll here. I'll take a Spicy Sauce as well. This gives us quite a bit of extra damage, and then we're going to roll. Ritual gives me % damage, but we can't use the lifesteal, so let's roll past that. Definitely taking a Metal Plate, and Small Fish is probably good as well, although attack speed is starting to be a real concern. I'd say attack speed is the only thing that we really need in order to make this run just an easy cruise to victory. A challenge run that I want to try at some point is picking strong weapons for the characters, but not buying any items after, like, wave 10, maybe, and seeing how many you can win with. Just trying to get your build to endgame in the first 10 waves. I think that would be pretty fun. And we're fairly on track to being able to win this run without buying any items after wave 10. I'm not going to do that here because it's part of a different challenge streak, but that is something that we could do at some point, maybe. Insanity, I'm going to pick up. Again, we only have 1.5% crit damage, but our base damage is so high, it's still a pretty significant increase to our damage output. And I could take HP. It's good with Spicy Sauce. It's good with our passive. But I think the level 3 damage upgrade is still better. And then here we're taking 15 luck, which is great with our double Pearl. Pick up Stick, Metal Plate, and Small Fish, and roll. Weird Ghost, I only have 2 regeneration, and we don't have a garden or anything to heal, so Weird Ghost is a little risky. Wave 9, and we have negative attack speed. On the other hand, the bonus HP is pretty nice. Gonna take the padding, because you want to buy any health that you can on this character. I think I will buy the Weird Ghost. I think it's still safe. I'll take a Penguin for sure. We'll take a Bean Teacher as well, and then we'll go to wave 9 here. So I will need to drop a consumable at some point, but we should have the damage to do that, and as soon as we do, we'll be safe, because we have quite a bit of bonus consumable healing, and then we get extra damage from Weird Ghost, so... This was a bit of a riskier Weird Ghost than normal, but with high luck and really high consumable healing, I felt like we were pretty safe. even with low attack speed. And also, of course, our damage is high enough that we one-shot enemies, so even though we're not attacking that fast, I didn't think we were likely to take a hit. What happened to that charger? It, like, stopped against me and sort of skated alongside of my character. I guess it hit another enemy and got sort of sidetracked, but that looked very strange. I think it was supposed to run into me and actually do damage, but instead it, like, took a right angle turn. I'm gonna take the fertilizer here, of course, and then I could just buy more armor. I could buy luck. I think with 35 luck, we're fairly likely to get a level 2 upgrade, though, so I'm gonna reroll here, and yeah, I'll just take 8 more harvesting. Why not? Attack speed, I have to take over HP. Obviously, we want max health, but attack speed, being at -9 attack speed is just so horrible. Reroll here. We'll keep upgrading our sticks, which is perfect. I'll buy an acid as well, because this character, again, benefits from really high health. Blood donation. I think blood donation is a way to throw this run, so I'm going to pass on it. We don't need the harvesting. Yes, we have 90 health, and high consumable heal, so we'd probably survive. But blood donation can put you under a lot of pressure if you just take a couple hits in a row, so... And we really don't need it in order to win this run. So we're going to avoid taking the throw item there. Especially with low attack speed, it's hard not to take damage as well, so... An item that puts your health under pressure like that, I think, is just something that we're not looking for here. Nice. Couple crates there as well. Maybe they'll have more pearls in them. That would be awesome. I definitely could use a little more luck also. Yeah, so you can see there we got to like 50% HP. If we'd had the blood donation ticking this whole time, it could have put us in a more dangerous spot. So it just didn't seem like it was something that we wanted. We've got no engineering effects, and we have a recycling machine, so I am going to recycle the book for 15. I will take a treasure map, though. That's awesome. And there's another free pearl, so that's going to really start snowballing, especially when I pick up 15 more luck. Then let's reroll. We can do better than that. I'll take 8% damage here. Our percent damage is solid, but could still be improved. Celery tea on wave 11, doubling enemy HP on wave 11, pretty dangerous, and we don't need the XP gain that much. That said, our damage is high enough that I think we just kill the rib cages really fast anyways, so I think we will go for the celery tea here. We'll take stick, we'll take metal plate, we'll roll. I'm definitely taking weird food and helmet. Goat skull I'll grab as well, because more base damage is good. I could take some range and get a free reroll, so this only costs 31 to buy 20 range. Stick does benefit from range, so I think we will take the glasses here. I know, a very unusual pick from me, but because it was so cheap, because it came with a free reroll, it seemed a little more worth it. We'll take salt water, 2 melee damage, 3 attack speed. We don't benefit from the move speed from Chunky. I do want small fish. This is close. 110 for just the melee damage and attack speed is pretty poor. But attack speed, we need so badly, so I think I will take it. So I need to remember enemies have double health this wave. Fortunately, we've got the damage to clear them pretty efficiently as well. One thing that we are missing also is non-lifesteal or regen sources of healing. Things like Cute Monkey would be really good. So maybe I actually should have taken the baby gecko that we passed really early because of that, because Cute Monkey is such a high pick for this character. Something worth considering anyways. But again, without having it already, picking an item that just doesn't do that much, I think is not super important. We're going to take the cake here for sure. It's got no penalty for this character as well, because we gain a damage to offset the damage we lose. And then I could take 6 dodge here, but we're already at negative dodge, and we're just never going to build enough dodge to make it valuable. Here, I could take armor, I could take regen, or I could take percent damage. Going up to 4 regen is kind of appealing, but I think I'm just going to take 2 armor, and then I'll reroll again, and take 15 more luck. We will still buy a plant. 1.5 regen is still pretty useful. We'll take saltwater and small fish and roll. I'm going to take the coupon. If I buy coupon, can I buy pearl? No. So, do I want to buy pearl? We have a guaranteed box next wave with the elite box, and I believe the elite box can still spawn pearls. I'm actually not 100% sure of that, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. So I would be giving up 5% of this item's price in order to have another 3% chance of finding a pearl and a little more damage and everything. But I think because coupon also lets us buy stick and get some more rerolls, I think it's better to buy the coupon first. That's a very close decision, though. Okay, not exactly the elite that we wanted to see, but stick is such a powerful weapon that we should be able to kill it anyways. Because, of course, this elite charges past you, so it's pretty hard to kill with melee weapons, typically. But our damage is quite high, even if our attack speed is very poor. So we should be able to get it reasonably safely. And there we go. Also got a loot alien, which is nice. And pencil, we're going to recycle. There's our free pearl, which is great. Grind's magical leaf I'm still going to take. The regen, of course, we get at half value, and the lifesteal we don't benefit from, but the HP is really good, and the regen, even at half value, is still really nice. Our percent damage is only 75, so I think I'll just take the level 2 upgrade here, and then here I'm going to take 2 more regen. Again, if I can get to 10 or 15 regen, then we will be in just a much safer spot. Take a stick here, of course. I could take the hedgehog, but I don't think we really need base melee damage so much. Go ahead and buy another stick, and then reroll. I'll take a helmet for sure. Capping our move speed, totally fine on this character, because it's already capped, so we'll definitely take that. I'll take a whistle. No, axolotl. I could have gotten... So I could go to 1 HP. If I sell all my weapons, I could go to 1 HP and then have 100 attack speed. I don't think we would want to do that anyways, even if we had the money for it. This item always shows up when you don't have the money to buy it, though. It's very disappointing. Attack speed is the only stat that we really care about, but going to 1 HP is probably a little bit too dangerous. I don't think I've ever seen a character have max HP as its highest stat for axolotl. For me, it's almost always harvesting. Definitely killing that curse alien as well, and then we're going to take out this tree. Oh, loot alien, no! I didn't see it till the end of the wave, and we're very slow, of course, so I couldn't catch up to it, but I'll definitely take a helmet. More armor we're pretty happy with, so we'll take that as well. I'll take the shackles, because, of course, this increases our regen up to 11, which is exactly what I wanted. And like I said, the range is not bad for sticks. It's a very short-range weapon. Glass cannon I just don't think we need the percent damage, so I'm going to pass on it for safety. I will take the propeller hat, though, and then reroll. Reroll again. Okay, we can definitely benefit from a crown and a jerky. So we'll take jerky, we'll lock the crown. I could have sold a weapon here to get the crown a wave earlier. That might have been worth considering as well. But I think the safer play, of course, is just to go to the next wave with all of our weapons. And selling a stick is worse than selling other weapons because it decreases the damage of all of your weapons, even the ones you didn't sell. Trying to clear as many of these summons as possible, of course, because we're starting to take a few hits here, but with jerky, we should heal very rapidly. We're stacking so much healing over time when we pick up consumables that it's very hard for us to die. So jerky, just an amazing item for this character. When you're relying on consumable heal, it makes it so much more reliable because instead of showing up in spikes, you can heal back to full and then still have healing. I'd have loved a hunting trophy or something. Turret, we're going to recycle. We're still not doing engineering stuff. I will take another sunglasses just for a little more damage. Okay, this is basically the only thing that we needed to make this character just wildly better was that 20% attack speed upgrade and then another 10%. So finally finding some attack speed, that helps so much. We'll take a crown. We'll take a mouse. I'm going to pass on blindfold again. Fishhook will take. Poisonous tonic I will lock. Claw tree I could pick up again, or rather this time, but I think I'm going to roll past both Claw Tree and Boxing Glove. I think they're just really expensive for what we want. We'll take a Spicy Sauce, we'll re-roll here, then I will lock a Broken Mouth, re-roll one more time because we have a Fishhook, so I want to lock items and try to get them cursed. Unfortunately, we missed on good items, but that's okay. One thing that's kind of fun for me when playing with these runs where we get an optimal weapon is a lot of the time the question I get from, the majority of questions that I get or criticisms of my play or whatever are people saying, why didn't you buy this item that doesn't really do anything? And I can see more easily why people are so inclined to want those items when I play with optimal weapons, because you just have so much more money to play through so you can buy nonsense. But when you're playing a random weapon challenge, your economy is so much tighter, typically. You just can't afford to buy items that don't do anything. Common ones include things like Spyglass, which takes forever to pay off, or Wandering Bot, which typically does not do much to help keep you alive and just costs a lot of money. That sort of genre of item that doesn't give you stats are much less purchasable when you're not playing with optimal items, or optimal weapons. I'm going to recycle the white flag, of course. Wheelbarrow, this late, and it costs us armor. I think it's still worth picking up, though. And then let's roll here, and we'll take 1.5 regen, because I do want to boost that further. Scar, even this late, will pay off, I think. Fishhook, of course, not giving us any value, but we're still taking Poisonous Tonic and Broken Mouth. And Metal Detector will grab as well. Do a reroll here. Bean Teacher, this would be a wave 17 Bean Teacher. If it got cursed, it might be okay, but even still, I think we're going to pass on it. We'll hit level 25, which is the goal for XP items. Weird Ghost, I could buy. Going into wave 16, but I think at this point, we don't want to buy Weird Ghost. That said, so if I buy Defective Steroids, and I won't have enough money to reroll and try to lock stuff for our Fishhook, I could buy Weird Ghost, lock the Defective Steroids. I could also just roll, or I could lock Defective Steroids and roll. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to lock this and roll because I want to prioritize being able to get some Fishhook value. The stick I'm going to just buy, though, and then go to the next wave. Usually I don't recommend locking items for Fishhook over just buying items. But in that case, because we didn't need the item for this next wave, and we weren't going to be able to lock anything for the Fishhook if I bought it, then I wanted to do some re-rolling. Unfortunately, I didn't find that much that was good to lock for Fishhook, but if we get a couple cursed items, or one cursed item this next wave, then this next shop, then that will still be pretty valuable. And I'll take another metal detector, mostly for the bonus luck. We'll take the poisonous tonic here as well. Ice cube, we have no way to deal elemental damage, so we'll recycle that. I'll take a dynamite. We have double spicy sauce, so explosion damage is actually somewhat relevant. And then I'm going to roll. I really want more attack speed or armor, I guess, are the two stats I care about the most. 8 melee damage is fine, but the base damage on sticks is so high, we just don't really need melee damage. So let's roll, and yeah, we'll take 4 armor, and then 15 attack speed, that's perfect. Well, Fishhook continuing not to do anything, so classic Fishhooks here. Sift's Relic will definitely take... I could try to get it cursed and build dodge off of it, but I think just picking it up is going to be better. Little Frog, I do want pickup radius, but it's just not that important for the character, so let's roll past that. We'll take stick and lemonade and then do a reroll. Ball and chain, my weapons attack just slightly faster than the ball and chain minimum, but if it gets cursed, then that would be really strong, so we'll lock these 2 items. Of course, when you curse a ball and chain, the minimum attack speed gets decreased, so you can attack faster than you can with the non-curse version, and the stats from it are very good. One of the items that benefits the most from getting cursed. Maybe if I'd taken the Cursed Bean Teacher, we could have hit level 30. I don't think we are going to without the bonus XP gain, but if I'd tried to lock a Bean Teacher and curse it, then maybe we hit level 30, which is another important breakpoint, because it gets you a guaranteed level 4 level up. Got that loot alien kill, which is awesome. Lucky Charm will definitely take... How much percent damage do we get from this? So we're at 102 now. We're up to 117 from the Lucky Charm. Jelly, I'll take 32 for 1 HP is not the best ratio, but it's not the end of the world. Obviously, we're recycling Snowball, though I will take the Campfire just for the 1 regeneration. So I should check my Fishhooks because, okay, so we know we didn't get a cursed ball and chain. That being the case, I'm probably not buying ball and chain, so I'm just going to take the attack speed. Another classic Fishhook scenario here. Yeah, and my weapons do attack faster than the ball and chain, so I think maybe I'll just leave it locked for 1 more wave. We have a 30% pity bonus, so there's a decent chance that we can get it cursed still. And then we're going to roll a fair amount, but that's okay. I will buy a sunglasses as well, do 1 more reroll here. I'll lock in Insanity, and Bone Dice we obviously don't need at this point, even cursed. Because single target damage is kind of the thing that I care about the most at this point. More regeneration would be nice as well, but just getting some attack speed so we can kill bosses and elites a little faster is going to be what keeps us safest. Something like a fairy would go a long way. Didn't make it to that tree in time. Ricochet, I'm gonna recycle. We do have Alien Eyes, but that's our only source of projectiles. Another Pearl, great. Wheat, 4 melee damage for 138. I think we're just gonna recycle that. Though I will take a treasure map here. We probably will get 1 item out of it next wave, so I think for 62 materials it's fine. And then we'll take a regen. Okay, we did get the Cursed Ball and Chain. That's perfect. Obviously, we wanted that. We got the Insanity. We got the Cake. Great. We will take a Lost Duck and a Propeller Hat as well. Fertilizer, we don't need. Clockwork Wasp, we don't need. Let's roll past those. Another Fish Hook, is that likely to pay off in this very last wave? Probably not. So let's just go ahead and upgrade our sticks, buy a Propeller Hat, do a reroll, and then I will lock a Pearl and an Alien Eyes, because either of those cursed would be very nice. I guess to make the treasure map worth picking, I have to drop 5 crates this wave. Because then we're spending 62 materials on an average of 1 random item, which is worth it. But if I don't drop 5 crates, then the treasure map is probably not going to pay off. We did have a lure, so that does help. And our luck is still is high. It's not incredibly high, but it's high enough. So I think that treasure map was very close. If we'd gotten it a wave earlier, it obviously would have been good, but on this last wave, it's kind of an interesting decision point. So ended up probably not paying off, or at least being statistically unlikely to pay off. But we'll see. Landmines were recycling. Alien Worm, I don't really want to reduce my consumable heal, but I think we'll still take it because it is a useful stat for us. We'll take the metal here. More sneezes attacking me, so again, apologies. Failed to mute in time. I'm going to recycle the blood donation and recycle the compass, and alien magic we will grab. It does cost me luck, but I think the regen, so it will cost me percent damage. We're going to lose, 3% damage off of that. But I think the regen and makes it worth it. Then I'm going to reroll here. I'll take 10 luck, and I will take 4 more armor or 8 melee damage. Let's just take the melee damage, because that'll increase our base damage enough that we can hopefully kill the bosses. Take a Pearl and an Alien Eyes, or kill the bosses faster. We're going to kill the bosses, especially now that we have a silver bullet. 2.5% crit chance, or rather 5% crit chance, but at 1.5 value. Probably still better than most other things that we would find in this last set of waves. Triangle of Power or Propeller Hat. So actually, how many pearls do I have? Because the Propeller Hat is probably pretty close. Yeah, so that's 7% damage. Triangle of Power, of course, is 20% damage. I think the Triangle's still better. And we also lose 2%, so it's, 5% damage on the Propeller Hat. I think the Triangle's still better. I don't think we're going to take that many hits. And then we have exactly enough to reroll. Wow, Retromission's Hoodie and Coffee, if I'd gotten Dodge, this would have been really nice. And Coffee is the item we've been looking for this entire time, so sad that we didn't get those until the last wave, but let's go ahead and just kill the bosses here. So took 2 hits from the triangle so far. That's a 3rd. And there we go. That is the bosses defeated, and another pretty tough character out of the way, though obviously we rolled really well on our weapon. And that's just the power of stick. This weapon is just so good. It just makes even quite difficult characters just an absolute breeze. Let's take a look at our items here. So the sunglasses, I think these worked pretty well. I was pretty happy with the bonus crit damage, even at the cost of armor, and we got them relatively cheaply, so I think those were pretty good. Weird foods, obviously great. Getting a ton of early luck and some lures, and then 7 pearls is pretty awesome. I could have had an extra baby elephant. It just wasn't that important to our build. We did end up with 46k damage from it, which honestly isn't even that exciting with 150 luck. Though still a reasonable contributor. But Stick just does so much damage, you just don't need other sources of damage with it. Alien Eyes dealt 67k. The Spicy Sauces dealt 22k. These metal plates were really important because we were struggling for armor at that time. The recycling machine paid off really well. Treasure maps gave us 8 total items, which is, of course, great. Even though we picked up one of them late, the treasure maps were still excellent. I was pretty happy with the celery tea also because we just had enough damage to make this an easy purchase at the time. It didn't cost us anything, so we got a lot of value out of that. Coupons for 350, Grind's Magical Leaf for 40 stats, although then a bunch of those were reduced or useless because our lifesteal is negative. Crown for 58. Only 2 cursed items off this fishhook, despite locking for a lot of times, but that's how fishhook goes. Metal detector was pretty nice. Finding the Sifts relic, of course, was great, and these cursed items right at the end were pretty solid as well. So overall, just a very clean run. Obviously, that's what you're hoping for when you get a really strong weapon like the Stick. And hope that you enjoyed it. As always, of course, if you have enjoyed the video, feel free to leave a comment and hit like. Helps me out with the algorithm, so I appreciate you taking the time to do that. And you can subscribe to my channel for more Brotato and other strategy game analysis. Cheers, folks. I'll catch you next time.